and welcome to my YouTube channel, John's Box, and to another indie edition of the Beauty of Wiltshire, where we look at the 10 most beautiful villages of my county, the county where I was born. But before we move on to that, please support my channel. You know how to do that. Help it to grow so that I can continue making content, and you know how to do that. So without further ado, in this part 5 of 11, we're going to have a look at the village of Dinton, population more or less 750, give or take. Dinton is to the south of the county. Remember, there's nothing in the middle. Most of the beautiful villages are either north or south of our county. It's like the north-south divide, if you like, or the wall between the north and the south, however you want to look at it. Well, Dinton, I don't know if you can see it here on my map, is about 8 miles west of Salisbury. So I guess more or less near the Salisbury Plains or Stonehenge, if that's all you know in that region, or the beautiful city of Salisbury with its cathedral. Again, this edition will look at its history. It's another one of those villages with a manor and its estate, I'm not sure if it is a tourist attraction, if the public are allowed to visit the manor there. Also a look at the present Dinton as well as the past. And so without further ado, sit back and relax and enjoy, especially if you're from Dinton or that area.
Dinton is a village, civil parish and former manor in the Nadder Valley on the B3089 road about 8 miles west of Salisbury. The parish population was estimated at 733 in 2019. The civil parish includes the village of Paverstock, about 1 mile east of Dinton. There is a village school, village hall and a cricket club. The parish is within an area of outstanding natural. The manor estate of Dinton and over Teffont, now Teffont Magna, belonged to Shaftesbury Abbey, and before the Norman conquest until the dissolution, when it passed rapidly through the hands of various Tudor property speculators. It was granted in 1540 to Sir Thomas Arundel, who died in 1552, who immediately sold it, having obtained a licence of alienation to Matthew Colthrust, who sold it in turn to William Green of Heal in Woodford. In 1547, the entire manor gained a long-term owner when it was granted to Sir Herbert William, 1501 to 1570, later 1st Earl of Pembroke. It remained part of the family nearby estate of Wilton until 1918, when it was sold in lots and dismembered. The northern bounds of the parish follow a prehistoric line known as Graham's Ditch, through downland overlooking the Wyler Valley further north. Hanging Langford Camp, an Iron Age settlement, is just beyond the parish boundary. The hill fort known as Wickbull Camp lies near the western boundary of the parish, partly within Dinton Park. The Domesday Book of 1086 recorded a settlement of 37 households at Dinton, held by Shaftesbury Abbey. After the dissolution in 1540, much of Dinton's land was acquired by the Earls of Pembroke. Later, other land was purchased by the Wyndham family, which created Dinton Park. All Pembroke and Wyndham land was sold in the 20th century. Dinton had a school from an early date, with some 80 children attending in 1818. A national school was built in 1872 and took children of all ages until 1935, when those over 11 transferred to Wilton. The school became a Church of England voluntary controlled school in 1945. The Salisbury and Yeovil Railway was built across the parish in 1859, passing to the south of Dinton and Baverstock. Dinton Station was southwest of the village on a lane towards Fovant. The station closed in 1966. In 1934, the parish was extended eastwards to absorb the ancient parish of Baverstock. Before, during and after the Second World War, the area was used for storing military equipment and ammunition. Some of these premises were outposts of RAF Chilmark. The Church of England Parish Church of St. Mary the Virgin begun in the late 12th century and is a Grade 1 listed building. The north doorway survives from the earliest work, while the rest of the church is largely from the 13th and 14th centuries. Restoration by William Butterfield between 1873 and 1875 include adding a south vestry and north porch. The tower has 6 bells, 1 from the 14th century and 2 from the 16th. Until the dissolution, Dinton was a prebend of Shaftesbury Abbey. St. Edward's at Tefont Magna was a chapelry of Dinton until 1922. Today, the church is part of the Nadder Valley Team Ministry, which also covers Baverstock and Tefont. The church at Baverstock, dedicated to St. Edith of Wilton, is from the 14th and 15th centuries, with restoration between 1880 and 1893 by Butterfield. It is Grade 2 listed. Hyde's House near Dinton Church is a Grade 1 listed former rectory, an early 18th century rebuilding of an earlier house. Together with Phillips House and Dinton Park, it was given to the National Trust by Bertram Phillips in 1943. Phillips House, formerly Dinton House, was built in 1816 by William Forth Wyndham to designs by Sir Geoffrey Whiteville, replacing a 17th century house. The house stands in formal gardens and parkland known as Dinton Park. In 1916, the estate was bought by Bertram Phillips, who renamed the house after himself. Little Clarendon, also Grade 2 listed, is a late 17th century former farmhouse. The house was restored in the early 20th century by George Herbert Englehart, who died in 1936 and was a noted breeder of daffodils. His widow gave the house to the National Trust in 1940. The parish has local services, including 2 public houses and a village hall. The railway remains open as part of the London Waterloo to Exeter line. The nearest station is Tisbury. The village school continues on the same site as Dinton Church of England Primary School. The Monarch's Way long-distance footpath crosses the parish north of Dinton, leaving via Groveley Wood. Dinton civil parish lies within the Unitary Authority of Wiltshire and the Wilton Community Area, as defined by the Wiltshire Core Strategy. The parish is in the UK parliamentary constituency of South West Wiltshire. Dinton Parish Council represents the civil parish of Dinton, which includes the hamlet of Baverstock, and there are 7 seats with elections held every 4 years. The most recent election was in May 2021.
There you have it. I hope you found it useful, especially if you're actually one of the 750 who lives in Dinton itself. Don't forget, there's also, as I mentioned, within the parish there's Baverstock. In the next edition of The Beauty of Wiltshire, we'll be looking at the village of Broad Chalk. Broad Chalk is just below Dinton, so it's the same region of our county. So that will be either in September or October. Remember, it takes about 6 or 7 weeks to get to another edition, because I've got other series running on my channel. Yep, I guess that's about everything for today. Hope you enjoyed it, as I mentioned, and I'll see you soon in the next video. And thanks for now. And this is for you. There you go. Even lashes. Bye.